Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Good morning to one and all present here. Distinguished chief guest, principal, bursa, parents, teachers, and my dear friends. I, Anju S. Ghosh, welcome each one of you to this wonderful occasion. Today, we come across the 12th edition of the Eureka series, Eureka 2K21, the virtual science fair organized by Sarvodaya Central Vidyalaya. Opportunities and ideas are unexpected, but a platform to showcase the unexpected ideas pop up once in a blue moon. Innovation and needs knows no bounds. Ideas are drops of water in a sea. It can always accommodate so much more. We will get to see the ideas of students of all ages, tiny tots to young adults. We get to drown in a sea of scientific creativity because a platform to see and create is an asset. So we at Sarvodaya Central Vidyalaya present to you Eureka 2K21. To start the proceedings, let us pray to God seeking his blessings. I invite Pawanami of class 9B for the invocation.
I call when I in awesome wonder consider all the words thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy path throughout the universe is played. And sings my soul, my Savior, God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And sings my soul, my Savior, God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Now, I call upon our head girl, Malavika Thampi, for the welcome speech.
Respected Father Principal, Father Bursar, Honorable Chief Guest, teachers, parents, and my dear friends. I, Malavika Thampi, consider myself extremely privileged to welcome each and every one of you to this wonderful occasion. Eureka, so proclaimed ancient Greek scholar Archimedes upon his joyful discovery of a new scientific principle. Since then, till today, science has constantly reinvented itself, numerous times, each time resulting in a new Eureka. There are many mysteries to this captivating cosmos, and science is the key to unravel them all. Science fairs provide the perfect platforms for students to nurture experimentation and creativity. It develops rational thinking and scientific temperament in more ways than one. Let us all take this opportunity to ignite the inventors and innovators in ourselves. With that, I once again welcome you all to our virtual science exhibition, Eureka 2K21. I am honored to welcome our chief guest of the day, Dr. Achyut Shankar S. Nair, renowned scientist, professor, and researcher. The head of Department of Computational Biology and Bioinformatics at the University of Kerala, he is a devoted researcher, passionate teacher, and the author of 12 popular science books in Malayalam, textbooks, and science fiction as well. I welcome him to this spectacular occasion. Welcome, sir. I now welcome our beloved principal, Reverend Dr. Shantan Charugal, our constant supporter and mentor in all of the activities we undertake. Your love and guidance keeps us going. Welcome, Father. Next, I welcome our bursar, Reverend Father Kushi Chirakarod, a man with great ideology and vision. His energy and enthusiasm motivates us to be our best selves. Welcome, Father. Now, I welcome our Staff Secretary Amal sir, conveners of Eureka 2K21, our Priyanka ma'am and Sergeant Franklin sir, section mentors, class mentors, and other mentors to this event. You truly are candles, igniting the flames of knowledge and compassion in a dark period like this. Welcome, teachers. This event would not be made possible without the coordination and cooperation of our non-teaching staff. I welcome them wholeheartedly. Last but never the least, you, my dear friends, are the true essence of this event. I welcome each and every one of you on this pleasant morning. Remember, today is not about winning or losing. Today is about sharing ideas, inventing tools, and discovering realities. Let the curtains rise to this stage of science. All the best to all participants. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Our principal is indeed the backbone of our school, the torchbearer of this institution. He leads the way for us Sarvodaites. Now, I call upon our principal, Reverend Dr. Shantan Chervil, for the presidential address.
Good morning to you all. Chief guest of the day, Dr. Achyut Shankar S. Nair, our dear Bursar, Reverend Father Koshi Charakarot, section mentors, class mentors and other teachers, and office staff. It is our honor and pleasure to have an eminent personality like Dr. Achyut Shankar S. Nair as our chief guest of the day. And we are all waiting for his speech. During this pandemic time, I am very happy and proud to say that our mentors, especially the teachers in charge of Science Club, Priyanka teacher and Sajin sir, took this much pain and initiative to conduct a virtual science competition. It is really heartening to see that many of our students, even during this pandemic time, they took much effort to conduct this exhibition from their home. I congratulate our science club teachers, Eureka teacher and Sajin sir for their effort and the initiative. And also I congratulate all our students who are now preparing their exhibits in their homes. I wish them all the best. And I congratulate them, and I hope that Sarvodaya Central Vidyalaya will be able to produce future scientists through this exhibition. Once again, I congratulate all the teachers, non-teaching staff, students who are working behind this. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you, Father. Dr. Achyut Shankar S. Nair heads the State Inter-University Center of Excellence in Bioinformatics, University of Kerala. He has guided over 27 PhDs, authored over 250 articles and research papers, and 18 books. Awards won by him include International Academy's First Teacher Award and Bakka Maulavi Foundation's Award for Excellence in Social Service. It is a pleasure to have you here on this auspicious day, sir. The chief guest right now will be inaugurating the science fair. For that, here we have an exhibit prepared by two of our students, Navadeep and Ashwin of class 12C. It's a software. Upon asking questions, it will be answering, and it will help our chief guest to inaugurate the function. A relevant aspect of the software developed by Navadeep and Ashwin is when we visit a public healthcare provider. Our infection status is assessed on COVID-19. It is possible for the person surveying to become infected. This software solves this issue. This program, initiated by both of them, packed with many questions that can be used for determining whether a visitor is having COVID or not by asking as many questions as are fed into it to the visitor. It also collects data from the visitor to an Excel database, which can then be linked to any cloud services. This data is useful for the government or any company. So now I request the chief guest to kindly inaugurate this function. I also request our principal, staff secretary, science club in charge teachers, and Navadeep of class 12C who developed the software to join him.
What is your name?
Achyut Shankar.
Are you vaccinated?
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, could you please repeat?
Yes.
How many doses?
2.
Are you visiting the campus for the first time?
No.
What is the purpose of the visit?
To see the scientific work of students.
We are really honored to have you here. Do you wish to start COVID analysis?
No.
Would you like to inaugurate Eureka 2K21?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you for the cooperation.
So I have to press this now.
Now, without wasting any time, I invite our chief guest for the inaugural address. Sir, please.
Very good morning to all of you, respected principal, dear fellow teachers, young friends, all those who are listening to me over the internet connection. I'm very pleased to come here, though I must say at the outset itself, the video that showed the great energy of 2009 Eureka, it's sorely missed. The joy of all the students coming together and seeing their smiling faces directly is something which we are missing, but something that is not within our control. I am very happy to see that the event is organized itself in a very technological manner. Our young friend has made a Python program which does speech recognition. It is demonstrated. I think it is a very good way to begin a scientific event. I feel that one of the scientific projects you could do within the confinements of your home is, of course, IT-based projects, of which this is an example. I would like to, for your sake, talk to you about something that is happening in the world of science, as I know, related to information technology. You know, I am a teacher. My leading light in teaching, or my great guru in teaching, is a great psychologist, educational psychologist by the name Jerome Bruner. What Bruner has said, which is very enlightening to me, is that anything can be taught to anyone. Anything can be taught to anyone. I think it is a very, very powerful statement for a teacher. But today, technology is saying something complementary to this. Technology is telling us anything can be learned. You just now saw during the inauguration that the computer has learned to recognize speech. But that is only a tip of the iceberg. Anything can be learned. Anything. By a machine, not by a human being, by a machine. I would like to tell you what that means in the coming few years, the proof of which is already available to us. For example, there is a technology called driverless cars. I think all of you have heard of it. How the driverless car is developed is, of course, it is fitted with a lot of equipments like cameras, infrared cameras, etc. But essentially, how it learns to drive without a driver is to drive with a driver, human driver, and record all that it sees. You know, all the side views and the front view, back view, everything is viewed, recorded using cameras, and all the actions of the driver are also recorded, whether he is turning the steering to the left or to the right, whether he is pressing horn, whether he is changing gears. All of that is recorded with sensors. And the driver is asked to, human driver is simply asked to drive the car for, let's say, 10 hours. So he drives through various different kinds of terrains and traffic. And at the end of the driving, the driver can just go out of the car and the car will drive itself because it has learned to drive by watching what the driver was doing. If you look up the internet, you will see that you can see very scary movies of a huge truck driving itself. A lady driver is sitting beside and watching in Av, and the car is driving, the truck is driving itself. It waits at a crossroad. It turns, takes a very careful turn into the main stream of traffic and travels miles and reaches its destination. Friends, do you know what this means in the coming years? What will happen? See, we spend, in our country, we spend a lot of money to keep the roads appropriate for traffic. and not accident prone, and we use lot of infrastructure and policemen to maintain the traffic in the right order. For example, we need to have traffic lights, we need to have traffic police to stop people and check if they cross speed limits. You have to find them. And the roads have to be maintained properly. There cannot be gutters and all that. In the night, there has to be light in the road so that the cars can actually see. The whole road is lit up so that traffic can happen. In the future, none of this will be required, because cars will be driven by algorithms. And when cars are driven by algorithms, they can only do things that they are programmed to. That means they can never break any rules. And actually, there is not much case for rules either. Rules are for human beings. With a computer, you don't need rules. The cars will drive themselves. If there is a gutter, the car will know about the gutter in advance. And everything will be programmed in the right way that the gutter will be not a problem for the car. There is no need for the cars to sound horn. There is no sound pollution by the horns, because horn is required only for a human being to know that, to intimate that the other car, that this car is coming. But in the driverless car, every car sends a signal out as to its position, its speed, its direction. So all other cars know what this car is doing. And therefore, there is no need for a horn. There is no need for a headlight, because the car is not driving by looking at the road. It is already having information about the road. It knows the information about all the other cars, and it doesn't need to have lit up roads at all. If at all there is some light required, that is for the people to see that some car is moving, not for any convenience of the car. It is estimated that there will be almost no accidents in future. No accidents, because all cars will be running under precise calculation, and there is no need for a worry about accidents. And there is no need for driving on the left or driving on the right, because it really doesn't matter, because cars are going as per calculation. Whether they are going in the left or right will not cause any problem, because all other cars know where this car is. So this means that the tremendous amount of money that we are spending on maintaining roads, this might become a very, very useless expenditure in near future. Not only that, you all know that today we see cameras which fly, the drones. We have developed technology by which this drone can carry some more weight. Like, for example, 2 kilograms, 3 kilograms weight this drone can carry. During this COVID times, even during lockdown, one service that was happening is that there are a lot of young men going this way and that way in scooter, mostly to deliver food. So there are a lot of messengers or kind of running errands kind of job. In future, that won't be required, because these drones will carry some luggage. So, for example, if you want to send a biryani from your home to this place, then the drone will carry it, come near you and send you a message that I am in the veranda. So you can go there, even OTP. It will come near you, drop the biryani and go. So the road is not required. You can fly very conveniently in the sky. And we are also thinking of developing it into a kind of traffic facility where a single individual can fly in a drone and reach another place. So what we are finding is that the technology is bringing up very many new possibilities, which will make our current planning. We are trying to build lots of highways and all that. All of that might become irrelevant. All this that I mentioned, at the back of it, there is a technology called machine learning. What you saw is also a machine learning, that speech is being read by a computer. When machine learning becomes more and more practiced. Actually, even today it is practiced. For example, you can recognize the face of any person using machine learning. If you are all in social media, you go and upload a photograph of you with friends. You are all young people, you all remember your friends. But in my case, I don't recognize all people I know or I have had acquaintance with. But as soon as I upload a photo in Facebook, I don't know who is standing with me, but Facebook knows. It tells me that you are with so and so and so, and I am just asked to confirm. How does it know? It has learned. As I said, anything can be learned. So face recognition is a solved problem, actually. It can solve it better than human beings. During the pandemic, we had a issue that face recognition softwares failed because you couldn't see the face. You are wearing a mask, so people cannot be easily identified. So in my department, the students during the pandemic developed a software which will recognize people even if you wear a mask. Even if your face is not visible, only eye and the forehead is visible, it will still recognize. Because you remember the principle is very simple. The principle is anything can be learned. The catch there is anything can be learned if you give sufficient examples. So in case of COVID, we had to give a large number of examples of people wearing masks and give their names so it could learn. So these are all things that students can try. Even in schools at +2 level, students can develop such things. Your friend who developed this speech recognition software demonstrates that. These technologies can, what they're trying to do now is not just recognizing people, but recognizing emotions, for example. You can look into a camera and the camera will tell you whether you are happy, sad, or you are depressed. Actually, it can say many, many more things. For example, are you conspirational? For example, you look very pleasant, but in your mind you are ready to do something very bad. The computer will be able to recognize that. In fact, such cameras are installed in public places in some of the foreign countries, and there have been a lot of criticism about it. You're reading the mind of the person by looking at the face. So if you have enough samples of data to give for each of these, the computer is able to learn. So in China, a country which I've traveled widely, anything can be done because of the political system there. They put a camera into the classroom and the camera watches all the students and sends a message to the teacher saying that student is sitting very attentive, looks very attentive, but actually is not listening. His mind is somewhere else. So it is almost like a mind reading machine. You can read the mind. Is this all good? We cannot say it is all so good. But science and technology is like that. It is a double-edged sword. It can be put to very bad uses in countries like China. It can also be put to very good use. For example, in a security facility in an airport, it becomes a very useful tool. Somebody is coming with the intention of sabotaging the place. If the computer can read it, then it will be very good. So it has both good uses and bad uses. I will also touch upon the area where I work. I work in a field called bioinformatics, using IT in unraveling the secret of life. All of you know that our secret of our life is written in each of our cells as DNA. DNA is like a small book of life written using 4 characters called A, G, C, and T. We denote it by A, G, C, and T. Actually, there are 4 molecules. So it is like a long chain of molecules. A, G, C, T coming in seemingly random order. It will come, but it's like a garland of these molecules. Today, we have a technology to read that whole string and write it as a file in a computer, in a very big file. If you, for example, give a drop of your blood, we can get it sequenced. That is the name used. And the whole DNA of your cell can be recorded into a file, which the size of which will be about 3 GB. GB. That is the size of the file. If I get that file, 3 GB file, it is as good as knowing everything about you. And also knowing everything about general human beings, in addition to knowing specifically about you. In this huge data, about 1% of data only is active. The rest of it is actually very mysterious. It is not doing anything. But 1% of this data is acting like it is a program, small programs, many small programs. Each of them run and does something to our life. For example, there is one program which when runs, our development of our eyes happen. Your eyes get a lot of glitter, your eyes are healthy. There is a particular program for that. So you can imagine that your cell contains DNA and DNA contains in it small programs of life. Now that is very interesting analogy, because if you take other animals or plants, they also have DNA and therefore they also have programs. And therefore we can say whatever we see in nature, in living beings, they are all can be traced to a program, which is called a gene. So let us look at this, our young friend produced this software. So this software actually uses many ready-made programs called package that is being used by our program. So how programming happens today is that if you have a nice program, for example, a program which produces a clock, if you want that to work in your software, then you just install that in your program. Then your program also shows a clock. Now think of the same way about living beings. Living beings have programs which does certain things. If you want that, you install that in your DNA. Then it will happen in you also. That is a very profound statement. Imagine, all of us when we were young and even today, we are all full of joy and surprise when we see when there is no light, electricity, when there is no electricity. We see that there are small things in nature which produce light. Isn't it? The firefly, phenomenon. So, with the kind of knowledge that I gave you, you can immediately assume the firefly has a program to produce light in its DNA. And if you were able to copy that program and install it in your body, in your cells, what will happen? You will emit light. Like a firefly, you will emit light. Now, if you think I am just telling you stories, impossible stories, please be prepared to be shocked. All of this has been done, but not on human beings, because no government permits such experiments on human beings. If you go to Uncle Google and ask, give the keyword green GFP bunny, GFP, bunny is rabbit. If you search, you will find scientists have made a glowing rabbit, a rabbit which emits light like a firefly. And you will, along with that, you will see pictures of bacteria which emits light. You will also see pictures of rat, plants which emit light, all of which have been synthesized. Actually, it is not a big technology. If you come to our department, Karivattam, you can see that our MSc students produce bacteria which can emit light. We can only do it on bacteria. Other things are difficult to do. But on bacteria, our students do. So this is a indication of what is going to happen. You can produce effects of other living beings in your body. But as I said, this is not possible in case of human beings. It is raises a lot of ethical issues. But please understand that this technology is being used and it has reached almost every house in some where people are using drugs, using medicines. For example, when you are diabetic, somebody is diabetic in your home, when they are chronic diabetic, they have to take insulin because their body is not producing insulin, so you have to give insulin. And that insulin is not produced, not collected from an animal or from another human being. but actually it is synthetically produced by a bacteria. Very interesting thing. Bacteria produces human insulin. How is that possible? Bacteria cannot produce human insulin. Human insulin is produced by human beings. So what we do is, instead of doing something on the human body, we do the reverse. We take the gene of the human being to produce insulin, programmed to produce insulin, put it inside the bacteria, and the bacteria produces human insulin. Now, bacteria, luckily, is not mentioned in any of the religious books. So nobody makes any complaint about doing anything on bacteria. All other animals are very touchy animals. So bacteria can produce human insulin. Bacteria can also produce anything that you want it to produce. It can produce light, it can produce insulin, it can actually produce alcohol. All of this have been experimented. And therefore, in this age of science and technology, we are told that bacteria is going to be the factory of the 21st century. It will produce all that human beings want. Bacteria is not considered as a living being at all. Even though it is a living being to biologists, it is not considered a living being at all. It's a famous judgment by an American court on a case called Anand Chakravarti case, where the court said, bacteria seems to be like a chemical, not like a human being. That was the observation of an ordinary judge or ordinary human being who was judged, which is more or less correct, because bacteria does not have a nervous system. And so it has no pain, and you don't need to give it any rights. It seems to have all behavior of life, but it is not life. That is the practical notion of it. So science and technology today can also contribute to human progress and alleviating human miseries through biotechnology. A lot of such things can be done. But there are also a lot of ethical issues, like will somebody do experiments with human beings, modify human beings, create life forms which will not be good for nature? A lot of questions are raised. But however, we cannot wish away that there are good things that can happen. And the example I've already said, the human insulin produced by the bacteria, it's already reached us, already serving mankind. So I will just wind up by telling you about science, technology, and innovation. I think you have heard of this word innovation very much. These exhibitions are opportunities to awaken innovation. What is innovation? Innovation is doing something new that is useful. You can do something new that is not economically useful. You don't call that innovation. That you will call as creativity. If, for example, you draw a very interesting picture, you don't say that it has an economic value, but it has a value, aesthetic value. It pleases people. But when you do certain other things, it has economic value. Do you know what is the greatest innovation from Kerala in recent times? In olden times, we can say many things. I would say the greatest innovation of Kerala is the നമ്മൾ സാറിന് കൊടുക്കുന്ന മുണ്ടാണ് ഏറ്റവും വലിയൊരു ഇന്നോവേഷൻ. ഇതുപോലൊരു വസ്ത്രം നമുക്ക് ലോകത്തൊരിടത്തും കാണാനൊക്കില്ല. ഫ്രീ സൈസ് ഫോർ ഓൾ അഡൽട്സ്, ജെൻഡർ ഫ്രീ, ആണുങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ കൊടുക്കാം, പെണ്ണുങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ കൊടുക്കാം. പിന്നെ സാധാരണ സായിപ്പന്മാരൊക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ പാൻറ് ഇട്ടിട്ട് അവർ വെക്കേഷൻ സമയത്ത് അവർ ഹാഫ് പാൻറ്റാണ് ഇടുന്നത്. നമുക്കതിൻ്റെ ആവശ്യമില്ല. ഇവിടെ മുണ്ടെടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് കിടക്കുന്നു, വീട്ടിലെത്തുമ്പോൾ ഹാഫ് പാൻറ് ആക്കുന്നു, പെട്ടെന്ന് മടത്തെടുത്താണ്. പിന്നെ സിപ്പോ, ബട്ടൺസോ, ചരടോ ഒന്നുമില്ല. ഇങ്ങനെ വസ്ത്രം ലോകത്തൊരിടത്തുമില്ല, ഒരു സാധനമില്ല. പിന്നെ ഒരു പണ്ടാണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു കളറിൽ മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ അത് ഒരു സോഷ്യലിസമാണ്. എല്ലാവരും ഒരേ കളർ, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ആരെയും കണ്ടാൽ അത് വെച്ച് തിരിച്ചറിയാൻ പോകില്ല, കൂടിയതാണോ കുറഞ്ഞതാണോ എന്ന് പറയാൻ. റീയൂസ് പോസിബിലിറ്റി ഈസ് വെരി ഹൈ. നിങ്ങൾ ജീൻസ് വാങ്ങിച്ചാൽ അതിനെ കീറി മുറിക്കാൻ തന്നെ വലിയ പാടുപെടും. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ മുണ്ടാണെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ നമുക്ക് വലിയ ലോങ് ക്ലോത്ത് ആണ്, മുറിച്ച് നമുക്ക് കഷ്ണം കഷ്ണമാക്കി റീയൂസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് വളരെ ഈസി ആയിട്ട് ഉപയോഗിക്കാം. പിന്നെ വേറെ ഒരുപാട് രഹസ്യമുണ്ട്. തിരിച്ചുടുക്കാം, മറിച്ചെടുക്കാം. പിന്നെ 8 തവണ കൊടുക്കാന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു മുണ്ട്. അതിന്റെ ഫ്രഷ് ഫേസ് പുറത്തോട്ടേക്ക് കൊണ്ട് കൊടുക്കാൻ. പിന്നെ പോക്കറ്റ്, ഏറ്റവും സേഫ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പോക്കറ്റ്. ഇതിൽ പോക്കറ്റ് ഒന്നും ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും മുണ്ടിനാണ് ഏറ്റവും സേഫ് പോക്കറ്റ്. മടിക്കുത്തെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു സ്ഥലത്ത് നമ്മൾ കുറച്ച് പൈസ വെച്ചിട്ട് വെച്ചാൽ ആരും തൊടാവില്ല. തൊട്ട ഉടനെ നമ്മൾ അറിയും. വളരെ സെൻസിറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു പോക്കറ്റാണ്. എനിവേ, ഇന്നത്തെ കാലത്ത് നോക്കിയാൽ നമ്മൾ ഇന്നോവേഷൻ, ഐ ഹാവ് ആക്ച്വലി മെനി എക്സാമ്പിൾസ് ടു സേ ഹൗ ഓർഡിനറി പീപ്പിൾ ഇന്നോവേറ്റ്. അതിനൊരു വാക്കുണ്ട്, അതിന്റെ പേര് ജുഗാദ് ഇന്നോവേഷൻ. Don't think that only rocket scientists do innovation. Very ordinary people do innovation. Your principal is a researcher in Gandhian thought. ഗാന്ധിയൻ ഒരു ഗാന്ധിയൻ ഫിലോസഫി എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നേച്ചറിനെ ഡിസ്റ്റർബ് ചെയ്യുന്ന മോഡേൺ ടേംസിൽ പറഞ്ഞാൽ കാർബൺ എമിഷൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളൊന്നും ചെയ്യാതിരിക്കുക. സോ ഗാന്ധി സെഡ് when you build a house, you build house with materials in about 5 kilometers around you. What does that mean? That means reduce carbon footprint. നിങ്ങൾ ഇറ്റലിയിലെ മാർബിൾ കൊണ്ടുവന്നിട്ടാണ് വീട് കെട്ടുന്നതെങ്കിൽ യു ആർ പ്രൊഡ്യൂസിങ് ഡാമേജിങ് നേച്ചർ. അതാണ് പോയിന്റ്. സോ മൈ ഫാദർ ടെൽസ് മീ ദാറ്റ് വെൻ ഹി വാസ് യങ് he saw a beautiful thing. ഒരു സ്ഥലത്ത് ഒരു പറമ്പിൽ തേങ്ങ വെട്ടിയിട്ട് അത് ഒരുപാട് കിലോമീറ്റർ ദൂരെയുള്ള മാർക്കറ്റിൽ കൊണ്ടുപോകണം. അപ്പോൾ അവരെന്താ ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ തേങ്ങ ചുവന്നൊരു നദിയുടെ കരയെ കൊണ്ടിട്ടിട്ട് തേങ്ങയുടെ പുറത്തിങ്ങനെ കീറും, ചെറിയൊരു നാര് പോലെ കീറിയിട്ട് അത് വേറൊരു തേങ്ങയിൽ കെട്ടും. കെട്ടിയിട്ട് അതിങ്ങനെ നിരത്തി ഈ വെള്ളത്തിലോട്ട് പതുക്കെ ഇറക്കും. ഇതിലൊരു നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് ഓഫ് കോക്കനട്ട്സ്. ഒരു ചങ്ങാടം പോലിരിക്കും. അതിൻ്റെ മുകളിൽ രണ്ടുപേര് കയറി കിടക്കും. എന്നിട്ട് ഇതിനെ കയർ ഊരി വിടുമ്പോൾ അത് ഒഴുകി നദി കൂടെ ഒഴുകി ഒരു 6-7 കിലോമീറ്റർ അപ്പുറത്ത് ഒരു മാർക്കറ്റിന് അവിടെ ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ അവർ വലിച്ച് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് കയറ്റും. ഇത് ഭയങ്കര ഇന്നോവേഷനാണ്. ആക്ച്വലി കാർബൺ എമിഷൻ ഇല്ലാതെ ട്രാൻസ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യാണ്, ഇതിനെ അങ്ങോട്ട് ട്രാൻസ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുക. നമ്മൾ എപ്പോഴാണെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് ലോറിക്കകത്ത് കയറ്റി പെട്രോളൊക്കെ കത്തിച്ച് റോഡിൽ കൂടെ കത്തിച്ച് ഓടിച്ചു. സോ there are lot of things we do. So when I was given a bouquet, I asked you to remove the plastic and give it, because this is a wrong innovation. നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ പൂ കൊണ്ട് കൊടുക്കുന്നത്, എൻ്റെ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് വരികയാണ്, ഐ വിൽ ഇൻവൈറ്റ് യുവർ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ ടു മൈ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് വൺ ഡേ. ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് ആൾ വന്നാൽ ഞങ്ങൾ കൊടുക്കുന്നത് ഞങ്ങൾ മുല്ലപ്പൂ വെള്ളം തളിച്ചിട്ട് കയ്യിൽ വെച്ചു. ഇപ്പോൾ കോവിഡൊക്കെ ആയതുകൊണ്ട് അതിന് ചെറിയ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിലും നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും പൊതിയണമെങ്കിൽ തന്നെ താമരയുടെ ഇലയ്ക്കകത്താണ് പൊതിയുന്നത്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഓൾ വെരി എക്കോ ഫ്രണ്ട്ലി. നേരെ മറിച്ച് നമ്മളൊരു പ്ലാസ്റ്റിക്കിനകത്ത് പൊതിയുന്നത് എക്കോ ഫ്രണ്ട്ലി അല്ല. ആവശ്യമില്ലാതെ സായിപ്പിൻ്റെ നിന്ന് പഠിച്ച മോശമായിട്ടുള്ളൊരു കാര്യമാണ്, ഇനി ചെയ്യരുത്. മാത്രമല്ല, ഇത് ഇരിക്കുന്ന പൂവിൻ്റെ ഏതെങ്കിലും പേര് ആർക്കെങ്കിലും അറിയാമോ? ഒരു റോസാപ്പൂ ഉണ്ടെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. ഈ ബാക്കി പൂക്കളെ പറ്റി ആരെങ്കിലും, നമ്മുടെ കവികൾ ആരെങ്കിലും കവിത എഴുതിയായിട്ട് അറിയാമോ? എനിക്കറിയില്ല. നേരെ മറിച്ച് മുല്ലപ്പൂ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടാൽ നമുക്ക് വളരെ സന്തോഷം, നമുക്ക് ഫെസ്റ്റിവിറ്റി, റൊമാൻസ് എല്ലാം ആ പൂവിൻ്റെ മണത്തിൽ നിന്നുണ്ടാകുന്നു. ആ പൂവിനെ മാറ്റി വെച്ചിട്ട് നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ലാത്ത, ഇത് ബാംഗ്ലൂരിൽ നിന്ന് വന്നെന്നാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു കണക്കൂട്ട്. ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് കം ഓവർ ദ ഫ്ലൈറ്റ് from Bangalore. അപ്പോൾ യു ആർ റെസ്പോൺസിബിൾ ഫോർ കാർബൺ എമിഷൻ പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ ടു, നിങ്ങളെ ഇത് കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ വേണ്ടി അല്ല ബാംഗ്ലൂരിൽ നിന്ന് വണ്ടി വരുന്നത്, പ്ലെയിനിലൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും വരുന്നത്, വാടിപ്പോയിരിക്കാൻ. ബട്ട് യു ആർ റെസ്പോൺസിബിൾ ഫോർ എ പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് ദറ്റ് കാർബൺ എമിഷൻ. അത് പോട്ടെ. അപ്പോൾ മോഡേൺ ടൈംസിൽ ഇന്നോവേഷനെ കുറിച്ച് ഐ തിങ്ക് യു ഷുഡ് നോ. ഐ വിൽ ജസ്റ്റ് സേ 3 things. കേരളത്തിൽ നിന്നുള്ള ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഇന്നോവേഷൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഞാൻ കരുതുന്നു ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ദി ശ്രീ ചിത്ര ഹാർട്ട് വാൽവ്. ഏകദേശം 1-1.25 ലക്ഷം ആൾക്കാർ ജീവിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത് ആ വാൽവ് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ്. ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യൽ വാൽവ് വിച്ച് ഇസ് ഇംപ്ലാന്റഡ്. അവർക്ക് ഹാർട്ട് വാൽവ് ഫെയിലിയർ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നവർക്ക് ഇംപ്ലാന്റ് ചെയ്ത്. രണ്ടാമത്തെ കാര്യം, നമ്മളെല്ലാവരുടെയും വീട്ടിൽ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സാധനമാണ്. നമ്മളെല്ലാം മലയാളികളുടെ പ്രധാന സ്വഭാവം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എല്ലാ കറിയിലും ഇടുന്ന ഒരു സാധനത്തിൻ്റെ പേര് തേങ്ങ, അല്ലേ? ചിക്കൻ കറി വെച്ചാലും മീൻ കറി വെച്ചാലും പായസം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയാലും തേങ്ങയാണ്. അതൊരു വളരെ സർപ്രൈസിങ് കാര്യം. എല്ലാ സാധനത്തിലും തേങ്ങ. ഈ തേങ്ങ പൊതിക്കുന്നത് എന്ത് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ്? ആരെങ്കിലും വീട്ടിൽ തേങ്ങ പൊതിച്ചു കൊടുക്കാറുണ്ടോ? അമ്മമാർക്ക്, അച്ഛന്മാർക്ക്? തേങ്ങ പൊതിക്കാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ലിവറുള്ളൊരു സാധനം കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല. അതൊരു കണ്ടുപിടുത്തമാണ്. അത് ഡോക്ടർ ജിപ്പു ജേക്കബ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് അഗ്രികൾച്ചർ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റിയിലെ മെക്കാനിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗിൻ്റെ പ്രൊഫസർ കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചൊരു സാധനം. ഒരു 20-25 വർഷമായിട്ടുള്ളൂ. പേറ്റന്റ് ഉണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ അദ്ദേഹം ആ പേറ്റന്റ് ഒന്നും നിർബന്ധിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. അതിൻ്റെ പേര് അദ്ദേഹം ആരുടെ പൈസ വാങ്ങിക്കുകയൊന്നും ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഒരുപാട് പേര് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതാണ് എക്കണോമിക് ആക്ടിവിറ്റി എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അർത്ഥം അതാണ്. ആൻ ഇൻവെൻഷൻ ദാറ്റ് ക്രിയേറ്റ്സ് എക്കണോമിക് ആക്ടിവിറ്റി. ഒരുപാട് പേര് അത് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നു, വിൽക്കുന്നു. അങ്ങനെ നമ്മുടെ സൊസൈറ്റിയിൽ ഒരു എക്കണോമിക് ആക്ടിവിറ്റി ഉണ്ടാകും. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് എ വെരി ഗുഡ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഓഫ് ജുഗാദ് ഇന്നോവേഷൻ. കാരണം അത് ഹൈടെക് ഇന്നോവേഷൻ അല്ല, ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് വെരി യൂസ്ഫുൾ, വെരി വെരി യൂസ്ഫുൾ. നോക്കൂ, എനിക്കത് പറയുമ്പോൾ പറയാതിരിക്കാനൊക്കാത്ത, ഞാൻ ഹോസ്റ്റൽ, എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജിൽ ഹോസ്റ്റലിൽ വാർഡനായിട്ട് കുറച്ചു കാലം താമസിച്ചു, റെസിഡന്റ് വാർഡൻ. അപ്പോൾ പാലക്കാടാണ്. കഥക് ഇങ്ങനെ വന്ന് കാറ്റടിച്ചിട്ട് പെടാന്ന് അടയും ഭയങ്കര. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് നമുക്ക് ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ കാലത്താണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഡോർ ക്ലോസർ വളരെ കോസ്റ്റ്ലി ആയിട്ടൊരു സാധനം വാങ്ങിച്ച് പറ്റി. പക്ഷെ അവിടെ പല കുട്ടികളും ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കണമെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പഴയ റബ്ബർ ചെരുപ്പെടുത്തിട്ട് അവർ ആ കഥകിൻ്റെ പുറവശത്ത് ആ കഥകും ആ കട്ടളയും കൂടെ ചേർത്തുള്ള സ്ഥലത്ത് അതിങ്ങനെ മടക്കി വെച്ചിട്ട് ആണി അടിച്ചു വെച്ചേ. അപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ സ്പ്രിങ് ആക്ഷൻ കൊണ്ട് കഥകിന് പെട്ടെന്ന് മൂവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോയില്ല, വളരെ പതുക്കെ മൂവ് ചെയ്യാൻ. കതക് തമ്മിൽ വന്ന് അടിക്കാതിരിക്കാനും അതിൻ്റെ ഫ്രണ്ടിൽ ഒരു ചെരുപ്പ് മുറിച്ചൊരു കഷ്ണം വെച്ചിട്ട് ആണി വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പം രണ്ടും കൂടെ വന്ന് ഇടിച്ചാൽ ആ റബ്ബറിലാണ് കൊള്ളുന്നത്. ദിസ് ഇസ് ജുഗാദ് ഇന്നോവേഷൻ. നിങ്ങൾ ഇതിന് പകരം അവിടെ ഇലക്ട്രോണിക് സർക്യൂട്ടറി വെച്ച് കഥ കടഞ്ഞോ, കാറ്റിൻ്റെ വെലോസിറ്റി മെഷർ ചെയ്ത് അതിനനുസരിച്ച് കഥകിൻ്റെ പുറത്തൊരു സ്പ്രിങ് ഒക്കെ വെച്ച് വേണമെങ്കിൽ യു ക്യാൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ടെക്നോളജി. യു സീ യു ആസ്ക് ഗൂഗിൾ ഗുരു അബൌട്ട് ജുഗാദ് ഇന്നോവേഷൻ. ജുഗാദ് ആണ് വാക്ക്, ഇന്റർനാഷണലി ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന വാക്കാണ്, ഹിന്ദി വാക്കാണ്. അപ്പോൾ വലിയ ടെക്നോളജി ഇല്ലാതെയും നമുക്ക് പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ പരിഹരിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കും എന്നുള്ള ഉദാഹരണമുണ്ട്. ഇനി ഇന്ത്യയിലെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഇന്നോവേഷൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇവിടെ CSIR എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ലബോറട്ടറീസ് ഉണ്ട് ഇന്ത്യയിൽ, റിസർച്ച് ലബോറട്ടറി, വലിയ ലബോറട്ടറീസ്. ദേ ഹാവ് മെയ്ഡ് ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ഇൻവെൻഷൻസ്. അതിൽ ഏറ്റവും ഫേമസ് ഇൻവെൻഷൻ ആയിട്ട് സാർ നമ്മൾ പറയാറ് അതിൻ്റെ 50th ഇയർ ആനിവേഴ്സറിക്ക് അന്ന് പ്രൈം മിനിസ്റ്റർ ആയിരുന്ന അടൽ ബിഹാരി വാജ്പേയി സെഡ് ദ ഇൻഡിലേബിൾ ഇംപ്രഷൻ ഓഫ് ടെക്നോളജി ഇൻ ഇന്ത്യ എന്നാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്. നല്ലൊരു ഒരു കവിയും കൂടെ ആയതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും അതിൽ വാക്ക് പറഞ്ഞത്. മായ്ക്കാനൊക്കാത്ത മഷി, നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ഇലക്ഷൻ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് വിരലിലിടുന്ന, നിങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഇടാൻ പോകുന്ന മഷി, അത് ഇന്ത്യയിലെ ഒരു ലബോറട്ടറി കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചതാണ്. അത് ലോകത്തെ പല രാജ്യങ്ങളിലോട്ട് കയറ്റി അയക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. യു ക്യാൻ ഓൾസോ സേ ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ഓൾസോ എ ജുഗാദ് ഇന്നോവേഷൻ, സിമ്പിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഇന്നോവേഷൻ. ഞാൻ ഒരു സ്കൂളിൽ, നിങ്ങളെപ്പോലൊരു കുറച്ചും കൂടെ കൊച്ചു കുട്ടികളുള്ള ഒരു സ്കൂളിൽ, 10ാം ക്ലാസ് വരെയുള്ള സ്കൂളിൽ ഇതുപോലൊരു എക്സിബിഷന് പോയപ്പോൾ കുട്ടികളുടെ ഇന്നോവേഷൻ കോൺടെസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു കുട്ടി ഒന്ന് കാണിച്ചതാണ്. നോക്കൂ, ജുഗാദ് ഇന്നോവേഷൻ്റെ കാര്യം ഞാൻ പറയാം, ഹൈടെക് അല്ലാതെ. നമ്മുടെ വീട്ടിലിടുന്ന ചെരുപ്പ്, നമ്മൾ ധരിക്കുന്ന ചെരുപ്പ്, ആ ചെരുപ്പ് സാധാരണ ചിലർക്ക് ഇത്തിരി സൗന്ദര്യ ബോധമൊക്കെ കൂടുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും അവർക്ക് ചെരുപ്പ് പല കളറിൽ വേണ്ടി വരും. ഓറഞ്ച് സാരി ഇടുമ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ കൂടെ ഓറഞ്ച് ചെരുപ്പ്, പച്ച സാരി ഇടുമ്പോൾ പച്ച ചെരുപ്പ്, ഒരുപാട് ചെരുപ്പ് വാങ്ങിച്ചു കിട്ടും. ഇവരുടെ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ വളരെ സിമ്പിളാണ്. ഒരു ചെരുപ്പും പല നിറവും. ആ ചെരുപ്പിൻ്റെ മുകളിൽ ഒരു വെൽക്രോ വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങൾ ചെരുപ്പിട്ടിട്ട് അന്നത്തെ സാരിയുടെ കളർ എന്താണെന്ന് നോക്കിയിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ മുകളിൽ വെക്കാവുന്ന സ്ട്രിപ്പ് വേറെ വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. 10 സ്ട്രിപ്പ് ഉണ്ട് പല കളറിൽ. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഏത് കളറാണോ വേണ്ട ആ വെൽക്രോ എടുത്ത് അതിൻ്റെ മുകളിൽ വെച്ചാൽ ചുവന്ന ചെരുപ്പായി, പച്ച ചെരുപ്പായി, നീല ചെരുപ്പായി. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ വെരി സിമ്പിൾ ഐഡിയ. നെവർത്തിലെസ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ വെരി പവർഫുൾ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ്. ഭയങ്കര പവർഫുൾ പ്രോഡക്റ്റാണ്. So what I am trying to tell all the youngsters listening to me is that innovation need not necessarily be high tech. Innovation can come out of new ideas, clever new ideas, which are also sometimes very nature friendly. And they come from innocence rather than very complicated technology. Rendu aga. Some people enjoy doing lot of technology. Some people, who are not involved with technology can still be innovative in sense of producing very useful things. Innovation or a message kuda paranjittu njan nirtham. Innovation, everybody is an innovator. Some people know that they are an innovator, some people don't. Through ചിലർക്ക് തിരിച്ചറിവുണ്ട്, ചിലർക്ക് തിരിച്ചറിവില്ല. എല്ലാവരും ഇന്നോവേറ്റേഴ്സ് ആണ്. When do we innovate? That is a very important question. We actually innovate when we face a problem directly. നിങ്ങൾ ആരെങ്കിലും പോയി നാളെ കഥകിൽ കാറ്റടിക്കുന്നത് തടയാൻ ഒരു സാധനം ഉണ്ടാക്കാമെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കില്ല. പക്ഷേ സപ്പോസ് യു ആർ ഇൻ എ ഹോസ്റ്റൽ വേർ ദിസ് ഡോർ ഇസ് കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി ഓൾവേസ് ട്രബിളിങ് യു, ദെൻ യു ഗെറ്റ് അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഡു സംതിങ്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് കേരളത്തിൽ ഒരു വർഷം ഒരു 100 കണ്ടുപിടുത്തം ഉണ്ടാകുന്നതിൽ 70% വരുന്ന ഫാർമേഴ്സിൻ്റെ നിന്ന്, നോട്ട് ഫ്രം യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റീസ് ഓർ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ. ദേ കം ഫ്രം ഓർഡിനറി ഫാർമേഴ്സ്. കാരണം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അവർ നേരിട്ട് പ്രോബ്ലം ഫേസ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. ആ ഫേസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പ്രോബ്ലത്തിന് അവർ സൊല്യൂഷൻ പറയുകയാണ്. മറ്റേതങ്ങനെയല്ല. കോളേജിലെ കുട്ടികൾ, സ്കൂളിലെ കുട്ടികൾ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ദേ think of a problem, somebody tells them a problem and they try to produce a solution. When you face a problem, you are forced to produce a solution. You will produce something. അത് ചിലപ്പോൾ നല്ലതായിരിക്കാം, മോശമായിരിക്കാം, but you get to do that. അപ്പോൾ please believe that all of you are innovators. If you want to wake up your innovation, I will tell you a small trick. We are used to producing one solution for a problem. When you have a problem, you want to solve it. But നമ്മുടെ മനസ്സിനകത്ത് കിടക്കുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം ഒരു സൊല്യൂഷൻ. അത് ഇന്നോവേഷന് നല്ല ടെക്നിക്കല്ല. ഇന്നോവേഷന് വേണ്ട ടെക്നിക്ക് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം, many solutions. That should always be in your mind. When you face a problem, you should produce many solutions. When you attempt to produce many solutions, some of it is going to be great. But if you stop with first solution, then it is not going to be a great solution. ഇതാണ് എനിക്ക് പറയാനുള്ള പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട അഡ്വൈസ്. ദിസ് ഇസ് എ വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് അഡ്വൈസ് ഫ്രം എ ടീച്ചർ. കുട്ടികൾ എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് വന്ന് ചോദ്യത്തിന് ഉത്തരം ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ അല്ലെ സജഷൻ ചോദിക്കുമ്പോഴും സെയിം തിങ് ഐ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ്. സർ, ഐ വാണ്ട് ടു പുട്ട് എ ടൈറ്റിൽ ഫോർ മൈ തീസിസ്. ക്യാൻ യു സജസ്റ്റ് വൺ? അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ രണ്ട് കാര്യമുണ്ട്. ഒന്ന് എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് ചോദിക്കുന്നു, രണ്ടാമത് ദേ ആർ ആസ്കിങ് സജസ്റ്റ് വൺ. സോ എൻ്റെ അടുത്താണ് ചോദിക്കുന്നെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഞാൻ അവിടെ ഇരിക്കാൻ പറയും. എന്നിട്ട് 10 ടൈറ്റിൽ എഴുതാൻ പറയും. എന്നിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഒരെണ്ണം എനിക്ക് അഭിപ്രായം പറയാമെന്ന് പറയും, കൊള്ളാവും. ദാറ്റ്സ് വാട്ട് ഐ ഡു ആസ് എ ടീച്ചർ. So you must all practice in your mind. When you face problem, think of many solutions for the problem. That will wake up your innovative mind. That will produce innovation. അത് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു പ്രാക്ടീസ് നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാകണം. ആൻഡ് പ്ലസ് റിമെമ്പർ, the most powerful Google is within you, not in the computer, not on the internet. It is within you. What is Google doing? Google is actually showing you what other people have said. അല്ലാതെ ഗൂഗിളിനൊന്നും പറയാനൊക്കില്ല നിങ്ങളുടെ. ആൻഡ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് അതർ പീപ്പിൾ ആർ സെയിങ്? ദേ ആർ സെയിങ് വാട്ട് ഇസ് വിത്തിൻ ദം, അല്ലേ? അവരവരുടെ ഉള്ളിൽ നിന്നുള്ള കാര്യം എടുത്തിട്ടാണ് പറയുന്നത്. സോ വാട്ട് യു ഹാവ് ടു റിയലൈസ് ഈസ് ഗൂഗിൾ ഈസ് ദ അഡിക്റ്റീവ് പവർ ഓഫ് മെനി മൈൻഡ്സ്. And therefore, you must appreciate the power of the mind when you search Google. And therefore, you must ask yourself, oh, is mind so powerful? I also have one. Let me ask my own mind. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ തന്നെത്താനെ ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കുകയും ഒരു ചോദ്യം ഗൂഗിൾ തന്നെ നോക്കിക്കോളൂ. ഗൂഗിളിൻ്റെ പ്രത്യേകത, നിങ്ങൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും ചോദിച്ചാൽ ഒരുത്തരമാണോ പറയുന്നത്? മെനി. സോ യുവർ ഗൂഗിൾ ഇസ് ഓൾസോ കേപ്പബിൾ ഓഫ് ഡൂയിങ് ദാറ്റ്. യു ആസ്ക്, ഇറ്റ് വിൽ സേ പ്ലീസ് ലിസ്റ്റ് 10 ആൻസേഴ്സ്, ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ലിസ്റ്റ്. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് എ വെരി സ്ട്രേറ്റ് ഫോർവേഡ് തിങ്. ഗൂഗിളിൽ ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലല്ല മനുഷ്യൻ്റെ മനസ്സിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, പെട്ടെന്ന് വരില്ല. ബട്ട് ഇഫ് യു പ്രാക്ടീസ് then you find that your mind is capable of producing ideas. അതാണ് ഈ ഹോൾ ഇന്നോവേഷൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ആശയത്തിൻ്റെ പുറകിൽ മുഴുവൻ അതാണ്. Please try to practice that. Remember, all of us are endowed. Maybe there is some variation in the amount of our abilities, but we are endowed with innovativeness. മനുഷ്യന് ഇന്നോവേറ്റീവ് അല്ലാതെ ജീവിക്കാൻ ഒക്കില്ല. എല്ലാവരും ഇന്നോവേറ്റീവ് ആണ്. അതിനെ എവേക്കൻ ചെയ്ത് അത് എൻജോയ് ചെയ്യുക, അതിനെ പുറത്ത് കൊണ്ടുവരിക, അതിനെ ഉപയോഗിക്കുക. ബിലീവ് ഇൻ ഇറ്റ്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് വാട്ട് you need to do. So I think I have said enough on a Saturday morning. I hope there are some take-home messages for you. Let us hope that the time will come and the pandemic will go away. I have this feeling that there is a sign of it going away. കേരളത്തിൽ മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ ഇങ്ങനെ നിൽക്കുന്നത്, എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണെന്ന് എനിക്ക് അറിഞ്ഞുകൂടാ. But I think all over the world it is going away. Let's hope by next year things will be far better and you will all be able to have an exhibition like this with the joy of our togetherness, all of us coming together and then also watching these products products directly, whatever you have done directly. So I wish you all the best. If there are questions, I am told there is some interaction you would wish, then I will be happy to do that. You can decide what to do. Okay. Thank you very much. And I am very happy to inaugurate Eureka 2K21. And I wish all those students who are taking part in this, all of them the very best. I congratulate all the teachers, all the students, student leaders, and the principal and other members of the management. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. Now, we do have a couple of students here who are ready to interact with you, sir. So first, I call upon S. Vaishnavi of 11C to ask a question to sir.
Good morning, sir. Myself Vaishnavi of 11C. I hope I'm audible to you. So, am I audible, sir?
Hear me? Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Vaishnavi. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So you can speak.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Myself Vaishnavi of 11C. So my question to you is that regarding startup companies. So Kerala has a team dedicated to encourage the startup, but still the startup boom is still at a pretty snail pace over here when compared to places like Bangalore. So what steps according to you, can turn this table around? What do you think will change this in a period of time?
Okay. I am not an expert in, you can hear me, is it, Vaishnavi?
Yes, sir, I can hear you clearly.
I'm not an expert in the startup area, but my experience is that, I had my students in the University of Kerala in 2005 started a company, bioinformatics company in the campus. And during that time, there was a lot of opposition to it. A lot of students went on, some students went on a strike that the company cannot operate inside the campus. So I think in Kerala, there is a general mindset problem about business. We are all, we all seem to have some notion that, doing business is bad, making money is bad. Even I think so, but my intellect tries to tell me, no, making money is not bad. Using money in wrong ways is only bad. Making money is not bad. Without people making money, a nation cannot go forward. There is nothing wrong in making money. That's what I also understood when I went to China. China has no problem with people making a lot of money. That's the only way that the nation can develop. So the mindset problem could be there. Anyway, Vaishnavi, what I would like to tell you is that we are not Buddha or Jesus to solve big problems. In front of your principal's room, I saw Mother Teresa saying, you cannot do great things, but you can do small things with great love. So I would say you should not worry about what is happening to all the companies, startup companies. But when you start one, you must go forward with great amount of passion, dedication, planning, and make sure that it goes forward. I would also like to tell you that all over the world, the success rate of startup companies is not very high. There is 90% of them actually drop out or fade away. That is a general tendency. But in Kerala, additionally, this kind of wrong perceptions also might be contributing to it. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Now I invite Joshua Jacob Thomas of class 9C for asking his question.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, Joshua.
Yes. Good morning, sir. I'm Joshua Jacob Thomas of class 9C. May I ask you a question, sir?
Please do, please do.
Sir, being an electrical engineer, what actually inspired you to shift your profession into computerized biology and bioinformatics?
Actually, I shifted midway through my career. And the reason is actually that engineering is, of course, a very challenging subject, electrical engineering and electronics engineering. But I realized through one lecture I listened to, given by a person called Professor Dr. Rasool, a scientist, biotechnology scientist. I listened to it and I suddenly realized that there is more challenge in biology. I will tell you a small example. See, if biology developed like engineering, then we would not have had problems with diseases. But biology is not so developed, in my view. If electrical engineering, take for example, there is a problem with voltage drop, then in a day, if enough money is there, it can be solved. Because engineers have modeled the electrical power system mathematically and now computationally, and they can identify the problem, suggest a solution, and implement it if there is enough funds. But if there is a problem in our body system, the engineering, body engineering, and there is a problem like a cancer or a viral infection, we have no model, mathematical model of the human body. So I found that that is very interesting. So people who know modeling of systems can go into biology and contribute. That is how I got interested in it. Okay, Joshua, does that answer you?
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, Joshua. Now we have Siddharth Shankar Pradeep Kumar of 11B with his question.
Good morning, sir. I am Siddharth Shankar, and my question for you today is, which of the following scientific problems would you choose to work on? if you only had enough time, money, and people for one of them? A very intellectually challenging one that does not have any current real world applications for the sake of the deep knowledge and understanding that it provides, or one that is less theoretically and intellectually sophisticated, relying more on trial and error, but with practical and immediate real world applications?
Okay. See, you should not read anything into my answer, because, it is basically the outlook, the joy of a person that determines which of this is suitable. As far as I am concerned, I will be tackling an intellectually challenging problem. But I cannot argue that that is the one to be done. But I enjoy doing such things. I'm not primarily bothered about the use of it. If there is some use, I will be very, very happy. But I drive myself. My motivation comes from the intellectual joy that I can derive. If there is no intellectual joy in doing a particular task, I will not be doing it. No, but please don't take that as a model. Okay. It so happens it is the case with me. Okay, Siddharth.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth. I invite Roshan of class 9A to ask his question.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, but I cannot see you. Yes, I can see you now.
Good morning, sir. I'm Roshan Manu from class 9A.
Okay.
And my question is that, does science and technology play a positive or negative impact on the society or human well-being?
Okay, that's all? That's your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I think yes and no. The answer is yes and no. Because it is not possible to put science into one category strictly. But I would like to say science, I would say, is value neutral. Science is value neutral, but technology is not value neutral. Technology can do good things and bad things. But on second thought, I would say it is not technology. It is our decision to use technology for good and bad. The technology per se is not good and bad. It's like saying a knife, You can say a knife can be used carefully for cutting vegetables, but it can also be used to kill. So it has, so I would say it is neutral, but you can use it in positive and negative ways. So the whole matter rests with your intellect. That is what I feel. Okay, Manu?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I call upon Devadatta B of 7A to ask the question.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Are you on video? Are you on video? Please speak. Please speak. Devadatt, please speak.
I believe there is a technical issue. Let us proceed with Ganesh Rajesh of 8A.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ganesh.
Sir, I'm Ganesh Rajesh of class 8A.
Okay.
My question to you is, will artificial intelligence overpower humans in future?
Okay.
What's your opinion?
Yeah. Good question. I can tell you something that an article to read about it. And the interesting point is that the article itself is written by a computer. Have you heard of Ganesh, you have heard of a program called GPT-3? Have you? GPT-3. Okay, you can ask.
No.
Okay,
No,
you can ask Google Guru. GPT-3. So this program is claimed to be capable of doing anything. With language. So New York Times, the newspaper, asked the program, can you write an article for us to be published in the newspaper about whether, same question which you asked, about whether the computers would rule human beings. And the program wrote an article. Which was so good that the newspaper carried it in its edit page. And that article says, no, we won't rule. That is what it says. So having said that, I would say already computers are ruling us. Your time is taken up by computers, mobile phone, and most of your decisions are through that. So it has become an inevitable part of your decision making Therefore, we could say they are indirectly ruling us. And very famous thinker, future thinker, Yuval Harari, he says that algorithms will rule us, not computers. But let us remember that algorithms are produced by human beings, designed by human beings. So in a way, indirectly human beings would be ruling, but on the forefront of things, it will be computers. I even foresee that governments might not take decisions on many controversial things. Those decisions will be taken by computers so that, the criticism about that decision will not be there. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Ganesh. Now I invite Malavika Suja of class 9E to ask a question.
Good morning, sir.
Good
My
morning.
name is Malvika.
Good morning,
I
Malavika.
wanted to ask you what aspect of computational biology interests you the most, and also what are its applications in the field of science?
Okay. See, any modern research in biology cannot proceed without the use of bioinformatics. For example, take corona. When the virus outbreak was there, the first thing that was done was to sequence the DNA of the genome of the virus and then analyze it using computers. The computer analysis is the one which tells you, for example, you hear of beta, delta variations and all that. All those are computed. It is not observed on the virus, but it is observed on the computer. And you have a software called phylogenetic tree analysis software, which will show how the different strains of the virus are distributed. It will actually draw a tree of the viruses. And if you look up the net, you can see corona virus tree. If you type, you can see the output of these softwares. Then another one is drug development. Earlier drugs were developed by trial and error direct application. But today what we do is we get the molecular structure of the drug and the disease molecule, the molecule responsible for the disease. And we do a process called docking, molecular docking. In Kerala University, we have a molecular docking station. And so the reaction of the two molecules can be predicted. So earlier it used to take 10 to 12 years to actually hit a drug, to find out a drug. But today it has reduced to 3 to 6 months. Even the corona vaccine has been designed on a computer first, and then only it would be tried out and things of that sort. So it has tremendous applications in the field of medical diagnosis, in the field of drug development, also in the field of studying relationship between different living beings, one of which I said with virus itself, the tree of life, produce the tree of life. All of this it is used. Okay, Malavika?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Now we have Shreya S of 7B.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Speak.
Good morning, sir. I'm Shreya from 7th, and my question to you is that we lost a major part of Shankutham Beach in the last couple of years. Is this related to rising sea levels due to global warming? How can we protect our beautiful beaches from such natural damages?
You cannot say it is a damage. When sea eats away beaches, it is actually a practical issue, I agree, but it is not a damage. Nature cannot be asked to remain static. Even rivers, for example, they change their course. That is a very natural phenomenon to happen. Delta is formed, you must have studied in your school. That is very natural. So I even think, it might be shocking to you, but I even think that the global warming itself is natural. It is not man-made, human or woman-made. The proof is that, millions of years ago, when there were no human beings on the surface of Earth, there were only dinosaurs on the surface of Earth, there was climate change. How did it happen? Was it caused by human beings? No. It is a natural thing. Earth is like a living organism, and it might have its own cycle of life. So it will, after some time, it will complete that cycle and destruct itself. Maybe it is happening like that. But no doubt, we are contributing to the acceleration of the climate change. But again, the point is that when we say we do something and cause climate change, we are also part of nature. We are part of nature. We are not different. Does that answer you, Shriya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Shreya. Now, I invite K. Klasi Preeta of Class 8C to ask a question.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah. Good morning. Please speak.
Klasi from class 8C. Sir, I would like to ask you a question. What do you think about the impact of the Industry 4.0 technological revolution on scientific research?
See, the word 4.0 means, a lot of new technologies being used in industry. They will definitely aid scientific research, technological development, but they might have an impact on employment. The other impact is good. The impact on employment would mean that you may not have employment opportunities in industries because everything will be highly automated. Machine learning would be used, robotics would be used. That is Industry 4. And therefore, the quality of products that the industry produces can become very good. But at the same time, employment opportunities for human beings may come down. That is my response.
Thank you, sir.
Shall I ask you a question, Class C?
Yes, sir.
What does your name mean?
Sir, it means people's victory.
Very good, very good. What language is that? Russian?
Sir, Greek.
Huh?
Greek.
Greek. Okay. Very good. Okay.
Now, once again, I call upon Devadatan D of class 7A to ask his question.
Sir, now am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please speak.
Okay, sir. So, good morning, sir. I'm Devadatan D from class 7A.
Good morning.
So, in the near future, whether the automobile industry will be able to produce electric vehicles at a cost affordable to the common man without compromising on the quality of the battery?
Already, I think you know that already electric vehicles are on the road. They are also used in limited distance running, like within a campus, circular service in a campus, etc. It is already being used. But with the battery, we have a problem. The battery is going to cause a lot of environmental issues. Large number of cars come means lot of batteries will be used. They will have to be recharged, and unlike an ordinary automobile in which its life will be more and the number will be less, here the numbers will have to be large, and it is sure to cause problems, environmental problems. But definitely the electric car is going to come, and it will be around us. Okay,
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Devadatan. Now, at last, I invite Badra Arun of class 9D to ask a question.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, Badra, you are audible.
Sir, I'm Badra, and my
Yeah.
question is, which field science?
Louder, please, louder. You can switch off the video. Your data seems to be.
Am I audible? Okay, sir. Okay.
You switch
Which
off the video
field
and
of
speak.
science?
Yeah.
Which field of
Please
science?
repeat.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are. Please repeat.
Okay. Which field of science, in addition to the one which you perform, you consider particularly important in the 21st century?
I work in computer application of in field of biology. I do consider that the biotechnology itself is a very, very important field for 21st century. But it is a part of what I touch on it, even though it is not my field. So that is how I know. So that is a very important field. And automobile, I have already mentioned, the automobile industry, it will revolutionize our energy consumption patterns, and it will give us a lot of new conveniences in the years to come. So I think both these areas are very important for us.
Okay, sir. So actually, we have a request for you.
Yeah.
As you are a great musician, can you please sing a few lines for us?
Yeah, I can. What song would you like? Actually, I have a problem. I sing only classical music. I hope you will withstand my classical
Okay,
music.
sir. You can sing.
ഇവിടെ സ്പീക്കർ ഉണ്ടോ? ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് പോലെ വരാനായിട്ട് ഇല്ല. So actually without the mic it is very difficult to sing. Devajata Devajata Jiva Paripala Divya Manuvela Devajata Devajata Palaya Mam Paripala Devajata Devajata Jiva Paripala Divya Manuvela Devajata Devajata Palaya Mam Paripala Devajata Devajata Jiva Paripala Mangalam Jayam Nalgam Manam Kirti Sriyum Pangamanniye Bhavanu Bala Paramesha Bala Paramesha Devajata Devajata Jiva Paripala. Pray.
So that is the end of our interactive session. Thank you, sir, and special thank you for the special song. Now, I request our principal to hand over a token of our love and appreciation to our chief guest.
Gratitude is not only the greatest of all virtues, but the parent of all others. I now call upon our head boy, Aditya Kevin, to propose the vote of thanks.
A warm and cherished morning to the Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Achyut Shankar S. Nair, respected Principal Reverend Dr. Shandan Cherval, beloved Bursar Reverend Father Koshi Cherkor, our Staff Secretary Mr. Amal MJ, our section mentors, Science Club in charge teachers, Mrs. Priyanka and Mr. Sardin Franklin, class mentors, the non-teaching staff, our loving parents, and my dear friends. I, Aditya Kevin, the head boy of Sarvodaya Central Vidyalaya, deem it my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. Gratitude is the essence of all great art. Gratitude can transform common days into thanksgivings, turn routine jobs into joy, and can change ordinary opportunities into blessings. Today, I take this opportunity to put all my gratitude in the form of words on behalf of our school. First and foremost, I thank the Lord Almighty who has designed and refreshed our souls with a sweet stream of blessings. His unfailing love keeps us marching forward towards better tomorrow. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Achyut Shankar S. Nair. We are greatly encouraged by your gracious presence and immensely blessed by your inspiring address. Thank you, sir. We feel proud and honored to thank our beloved principal, Reverend Dr. Shandan Cherval. You've been a constant support and you give us a great deal of encouragement. Thank you, Father. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by our bursar, Reverend Father Koshi Cherkor. It is your vision and leadership that has brought everything to this campus. We learn a lot about life through your guidance. Thank you, dear Father. Heartfelt thanks to our staff secretary, Mr. Amal NG, for making sure everything goes in order and for being a great motivator for all of us. Thank you, sir. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of motivated and dedicated section mentors who help in the completion of tasks. Thank you. A special mention to our science club in charge teachers, Mrs. Priyanka and Mr. Sardar Franklin, for helping us nurture our scientific abilities. With deep sense of appreciation, we thank our loving mentors for their untiring efforts. Thank you, mentors. I would also like to thank the non-teaching staff who work tirelessly behind the scenes to execute this event. Our sincere gratitude goes out to all the parents and well-wishers for your rock-solid support system and encouragement. Thank you very much for joining this event. Finally, I would like to thank my dear friends for tuning into this event and being a spectacular audience. Once again, we thank you all for your valuable presence this morning. Thank you, everybody.
We will proceed with the science exhibition. Soon as we draw to the close of the formal function, all are kindly requested to rise for the national anthem.